From the moment a bobcat kitten is born, its journey is one of survival, discovery, and transformation in some of North America's most challenging landscapes. These small, spotted bundles of fur arrive in hidden dense rock crevices, hollow logs, or thick underbrush children carefully by their mother to shield them from predators and harsh weather. For the first few weeks, their eyes remain sealed, and they depend entirely on her warmth and milk. As they open their eyes, the world reveals itself as a place of scents, shadows, and sounds, and their natural curiosity begins to bloom. By 4 to 5 weeks, they start wobbling outside the den, sharpening their coordination through a play with siblings biting leaves, pouncing on twigs, and mimicking the hunting skills they will one day need. The mother bobcat plays a vital role, returning from harness with fresh prey to teach her young how to eat solid food, later guiding them on short excursions to observe horse-stalking rabbits, squirrels, or birds. Through these lessons, kittens learn the art of stealth, patience, and precision that defines their species. As they grow, their playful nature gradually gives way to independence, yet bonds with their mother remain strong until they reach about 8 to 11 months of age, when instinct drives them to streaky out alone. Venturing beyond the safety of the den, young bobcats face a host of challenges, finding territory, avoiding coyotes and larger predators, and mastering the rhythms of the seasons. Some settle in nearby ranges, while others travel many miles before claiming their own domain. Every pounce, climb, and cautious step during their youth shapes them into resilient hunters perfectly attuned to their environment. By the time they reach maturity, these fragile kittens have transformed into skilled, solitary predators, living proof of the delicate balance between nurture, instinct, and the untamed will. From birth to independence, the life of a young bobcat is a fascinating blend of caution, curiosity, and steady growth inside the rugged habitats they call home. From pine forests and rocky ridges to desert canyons and to wetlands where their mothers search for safety and stuck under brush piles or inside hollow trees, blind and helpless at first, kittens spend their earliest days nestled against their mother's belly, gaining strength from her milk and comfort from her rhythmic grooming, and as their eyes open they begin to crawl about, tasting the scents of leaves and soil that hint at the world beyond the den, soon tumbling over one another in mock battles that sharpen balance and coordination. While the mother sleeps out at dusk to hunt rabbits, voles, or quail, always returning before dawn to feed and protect them. By a month old the kittens start nibbling at fresh meat she brings back, their first lessons in the predator's life, and by 6 to 8 weeks she begins leading them on short field trips where they creep through grass or climb limbs, learning how to stay downwind and freeze at the faintest alarm, skills that will one day decide whether they eat or go hungry. Summer finds them exploring further, practicing pouncing on insects, squirrels, and shadows, while still relying on her patience and sharp eyes to keep them safe from owls, foxes, and coyotes. As autumn cools the woods and food becomes harder to find, she encourages them to follow her longer distances, teaching the discipline of silent travel along streams and game trails, and sharpening their endurance on rocky slopes. Until winter's first snow lays a clean canvas for them to read the stories written in tracks, a final apprenticeship before adolescence calls them to climb their own ranges. When spring returns and prey multiplies again, most juvenile bobcats slip away from the maternal territory, stealthy and surefooted, driven by instinct to test themselves lonesome roaming only a mile or two, others traveling dozens of miles across forests, grasslands, or scroppage steep forging the solitary character that defines the species, and by the time they are a year old they stand as slick. Most crow hunters whose early lessons in warmth, play, stealth, and patience have prepared them to thrive in the unforgiving, magnificent wild. The journey of young bobcats from tiny, blind newborns to agile hunters is a slow, intricate dance between instinct, guidance, and the rugged beauty of the wild, beginning in secluded dens hidden in hollow logs, thick brush, or rock crevices where their mothers carefully prepare soft nests lined with leaves and fur to shield them from wind, rain, and predators. In their first fragile weeks, kittens rely entirely on warmth and milk, their closed eyes and folded ears gradually giving way to a dawning awareness as they begin to peer curiously at shafts of sunlight filtering into their shelter, pause to itching as they test new muscles while their keen sense of smell begins to map the scents of mouse, bark, and their matker's familiar musk, creating a comforting blueprint of safety. Soon their play grows bolder tiny growls, mock powernesses, and clumsy lips that strengthen coordination and balance while the matter, ever alert, sleeps out. A toilet to stalk rabbits, growers, and rodents, returning silently with prey dangling from her jaws, a bounty that she gently places before them so they may sniff and taste the life that assassins predators. By 6 to 8 weeks the kittens venturi short steps beyond the den, their spotted coats blending with the bright light as they crouch in tall grass. Captivated by grasshoppers or darting lizards, learning to move low and slow, to freeze when startled, to test their paws on fallen branches. Or shallow water, as summer rippens, they practice stalking each other, ears flicking at every whisper of wind, tails flicking in concentration, while their matter's sharp cowls remain term when to retreat to safety. Audioman introduces term to harsh realities territorial foxes, watchful hawks, and coyotes whose scent marks the boundary between risk and refuge so their training intensifies. Longer harness at dusk, patient waits in brambles for a careless volley, quick climbs to avoid southern threats. Each lesson engraving confidence and caution in equal measure, enters no adds a new layer to their education, blanketing the land in silence yet revealing the secret stories of mice and hares through a crisscrossing tracks, and the young bobcats learn to interpret this signals, pressing their paws lightly to stay above crusted drifts. Muscles coiling for silent leaps as they discover the patience required to wait motionless in freezing air until the moment to streaky. Their hearing sharpens too. Catch a faint rustles under frost, their vision perfects its focus in dim light, and their whiskers help them judge narrow gaps as they weave through icy undergrowth. By spring, sleek and surefooted, they grow restless with the pull of independence, ranging farther from the natal city, practicing solitary harness, and shunt marking locks and stands as quiet declarations of budding owners. Life for a bobcat begins in secret places that most humans never see. Narrow caves beneath limestone ledges, tangled thickets of blackberry and hazel, or the hollow of a fallen oak softened with dried leaves and tufts of their matker's fur. These square chamberers keep out rain, blunt the winter wind, and hide the scent of the newborns from prowling predators such as foxes or coyotes. A typical litter arrives in early spring when food is plentiful and temperatures climb enough to give fragile bodies a chance. At birth the kittens weigh only about 10 to 12 ounces, blind and helpless, their spotted coats already hinting at the camouflage that will one day let them melt into shadows. During the first week they rarely stir except to nuzzle toward warmth and milk, building strength in silence while their mother sleeps out to hunt rabbits or field mice. She returns carefully, pausing to shun the clearing before disappearing back into the den with prey for herself and the reassurance that danger hasn't followed her scent. Within 2 weeks the kitten's eyes crack open to the muted glow of daylight filtering through leaves, and tiny ears twitch as they begin to register chirping birds, buzzing insects, and the lapar of their guardian. They start to crawl clumsily, practicing the coordination that will one day make them nimble hunters. By the 4th week their curiosity outgrows the dense walls. They paw at the roots, beat at twigs, and bat at each other in short bursts of play that strengthen muscles and sharpen reflexes. Though still dependent on nursing, they are ready for the first tastes of meat when the mother drops a freshly caught volley at their feet. These meals teach the scent and texture of prey long before they take a life themselves. All the while the den remains a sanctuary, a classroom and nursery where discipline and affection meet, shaping the foundation of survival skills that will serve them once they step fully into the wild. By the time young bobcats reach 6 to 8 weeks of age, the den can no longer contain their growing curiosity. Guided by their matter's quiet chirps and gentle nudges, they venture into the depth light beyond their shelter, paws meeting mouse, needles, and loose soil for the first time. Every outing is a carefully planned lesson. The mother pauses to sniff the air, teaching them to read scents on the wind, 10 sleeps forward on bent legs so they can imitate her stealth. She stops abruptly, body frozen, ears engulfed like tiny satellite dishes demonstrating the art of listening for prey. Sometimes she startles a grasshopper or volley to spark their instincts, allowing them to practice the southern boast of speed followed by a precise powers. Other times she stages a mock chase with falling leaves or dangling feathers, sharpening their coordination and timing. As they pass, she leads them farther, introducing habitats rich in small mammals and birds, muddy edges, tickets life with sparrows, and creek banks dotted with rabbit trails. The kittens learn that every environment offers its own tactics like walking through a tall grass, quick long geyser-long logs, or silent observation from the branches. Meals now include scraps from her kills, so they associate effort with reward. Their jaws strengthen as they tear morsels, and their eyes urges to toilet when rodents grow active. By autoimmune, she begins to test their readiness by withholding food for short stretches, encouraging them to track mice or squirrels on their own while she watches from cover. Success is celebrated with soft chuffs. Failure earns a patient repeat of the lesson. Through countless attempts, the young bobcats refine balance, agility, and patience until hunting becomes less of a game and more of a practiced craft, the vital skill that will ensure their independence. As the seasons shift, a bobcat matcare's teachings grow ever more demanding, because survival is never guaranteed in the wilderness. Summer warmed yields to cool autumn air, and the kittens learn that changing temperatures bring shifting prey patterns and new hazards. The forest canopy teens, link up in the ground where they once hid so easily, so their mother trains them to use rocks, brush piles, and fallen logs as cover. She sharpens their awareness of aerial hunters, hawks, and owls that glide silently at dusk and demonstrates the value of pausing under branches until danger passes. When the first frost settles, she ushers them to sheltered hollows, explaining through an adjacent cowl that a safe sleeping city can mean the difference between life and death. Winter arrives with snow blanketing the landscape, muffling sounds and making every step more visible. The young bobcats learn to place their paws lightly, stretching their bodies so they blend with drifts and scrub. They practice trailing rabbits by reading faint prints across icy clearings, and they discover that hunger tests patience more than strength. Alongside weather, predators shape their education. Coyotes prowl the edges of meadows, foxes investigated in entrances, and now and then a black bear wanders near. Their mother models a mix of defiance and cautioner's back, teeth bared, body arched before slipping through into tangled brush, showing that wisdom often lies in retreat. By late winter, the kittens are linear, faster, and seasoned by adversity. They understand how to rotate between hunting grounds to keep pressure of prey populations, how to find out water beneath frozen creeks, and how to sense when a rival animal is too risky to challenge. These trials imprint resilience and adaptability, preparing the young bobcats for the spring ahead, when they will stand on the threshold of independence, ready to claim their own corners of the wild.